Yes.
Yeah. Welcome,
Like that.
so welcome to Academy of Tone 281 with
Yes.
Justin Hombach.
Hello.
Yeah, it's the second time that we have him here.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, last time was together with Fabian
Like
Ratzak.
4 years ago.
A long time ago.
A long time ago, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm very happy that you joined in for a very special topic. Is it tone? Is it shred? Is it both? Where is the whole thing coming from?
Yeah.
And yeah, we will dive into all these aspects a little bit deeper. But before, I have to make a clarification or a little announcement. So this is what happens when you are a live musician. Me and my rock anarchy are playing as a blues anarchy. Officially, it was announced on Saturday.
Oh.
And the whole thing was on my website for the whole time. And then just yesterday, I was able to get in contact with the organizer of the festival. It's a blues festival. And he said, Saturday? You are playing Friday.
Oh.
And all the tickets are, it's sold out. It's like, or it's really packed. It's the best day. And I said, oh, fuck, what can we do? Let me check with the guys in the band if what's possible. And then I was calling Gulli, my partner in crime on the bass and vocals, and he said, Friday, I can't play. So, fuck. And I was thinking about, okay, how to get a band together who can be a blues singer and who can jam with me like crazy. And then I found out, man, there is really, I mean, there are some good singers here, but and so I felt like very desperate. And then I thought, you know, what to do? I called Gulli again, and he said, you know, I talked to the guy with that gig on Friday, and I offered him, it's like, I join your gig because we can arrange it that we play first on Friday. So we start at 8 until 9:15. And then I come to your gig and we play both gigs.
Oh, okay.
And this is what we finally have. So guys, I updated the website by now. If you want to hear the Blues Anarchy, it's this Friday, 8 o'clock. We're starting first. And then I will disappear really fast, like the German GSG 9, special forces, you know, like the MI5. And we will be history in 5 minutes and go to the other gig and play that one as well, which is a private thing. Yeah, so that this gave me some a little bit of stress, but
understandably,
everything is fine now, so that's good. And for those guys who want to see us again next week on the 18th, we are playing Frankenthal, Gleis 4. Gleis 4, yeah, well, it's we don't translate that. What is it?
I don't know what Gleis is in English. I don't know, to be honest. It's
Lane?
like line, train, where the train arrives.
Huh?
Rail.
Rail 4, but anyway, it's in Germany, so it's Gleis 4. Okay, so that was my little stress moment of the day, or the last day yesterday. So I'm happy now. Everything is solved. Everything is easy. Yeah, for this episode, it is maybe we have to explain a bit more about Justin, who he is, and where he's actually from, what kind of era, background. So, in my opinion, you are one of those crazy, precise shredders. To put you in a corner.
Okay, I hope so. I'm working on it. So
I know that you have been practicing a lot.
Oh, it's the best thing ever.
Yeah,
I love it.
And you enjoy it.
I love it. Practicing guitar is the best thing. Yeah.
See? Okay. And you are generation. When are you born?
1990.
1990.
Yeah.
Fucking hell, I'm old.
I'm old too. I'm 35. That's not young anymore.
For me, that's...
Remember Kalen? He's 20. So.
Oh yeah. Kalen is a YouTuber from St. Wendel, by the way, and this guy is really young. But for some reason, when I meet these guys, I never think about age really. You know, it's like he is so adult in the way he runs his business.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, so
he's more 35 than I'm 35, and I'm more 20 than he's 20.
see, yeah. So that's all cool. But you grew up in the age of digital.
Absolutely.
So what was your first amp, or what was your first? How did you start with the guitar, and how was the very beginning?
I mean, the first amp was kind of a tube amp, which I got from my father because he played guitar, which was like a Fender Princeton Chorus and a Fender Twin.
Okay.
But they both didn't work. The Fender Twin was heavy. It was really, really heavy.
Yeah.
I didn't have fun with them at all. The distortion sounded like crap with these amps. So really, really quickly, when I got my first guitar, I got into the Line 6 Pot 2. So basically that is the amp that I grew up with, the Line 6 Pot 2. Yeah.
And you connected to that.
Totally, absolutely. For me, always I had the philosophy, I don't trust tubes. I trust ones and zeros. I'm a digital guy.
Cool. So, see, and I come from the times when I grew up with tube amps. My first guitar amp I built myself, and it was total crap.
Oh, wow.
Because I was a teenager that was reading some magazine about electronics. So my first hobby was electronics.
Oh.
And then I discovered the guitar, and I started to play, and I thought, guitar amp, not a problem. But I started kind of below zero, because my first amp was from the book, and it was the worst thing ever. So this amp was demonstrating all the worst things transistors can do. And I'm still working with transistors, but now my transistor designs sound like tube designs. And so when I was a teenager, I kind of started below zero, where it was the worst and the shittiest thing you can imagine. So this was my starting point. And then I was so fed up with my own designs that I asked somebody, what is the best guitar amp in the world? And somebody said, you have to buy a Mesa Boogie, because Carlos Santana used to play a Mesa Boogie. So I saved all my money and did extra work to buy a Mesa Boogie, which was very rare back in the days. And it was a huge amount of money for a teenager. But I had a Mesa Boogie. And I grew up with the Mesa Boogie, which was cool, because the Mesa was already a high gain amplifier. And your father with your twin reverb is kind of a cleanish amp that has no fun. It's just maybe you can play jazz on it or whatnot, but no overdrive.
No.
And so I was lucky to have a good overdrive at young age that helped me develop my playing actually. So I totally get the idea that tone and different tones are important for, the fun and the energy. It gave me energy. I had fun with that. So, and then I made a discovery, because for some reason when I was a teenager, I become a quite okay guitar player. Let's put it that way. I have recordings of myself being 17.
Oh, really?
And I sound like today. I haven't learned
You should publish it. You should share it with the world.
It is on cassettes.
Yeah.
My cassette player has died because all these rubber elements, the belts, got stuck because they are not soft anymore. So I need a cassette player, but I still have some cassettes.
Nice.
But the thing is, I have recordings where basically my vocabulary was already there, and the rest 3-4 decades after that, it's just experience, but not really that much. I mean, a little bit vocabulary here, and but the basics were all there.
Yeah.
I can listen to that, and it's like scary. So, and when I was that age, I was super lucky. Somebody recommended me to come to the studio and record, because I had that Mesa Boogie. I had the best amp in the world, and I was playing okay. And a friend of mine from one of my bands was working at a publisher, and he was working with a producer, and I was young and I was cheap, so he hired me as a session player. And I used the Mesa Boogie, and it was okay for the Schlagerscheiße in German. But on the other hand, I thought, you know what? It does not really sound as massive as the rock of Jimi Hendrix and Blackmore. I need a Marshall. And that was the start of my tone journey. This was out of, that shitty transistor amp that I built myself. I bought that Mesa Boogie that had a decent clean sound, and the overdrive sound of the MK2B, which I had, sounded more like a saxophone, but was not really rock. And then learning in the studio that sound was a limit. This was pre-digital. I had to find something that was sounding rock, which became this amp. So, and this is a 1969, I guess, GMP 50 watt. And I have done slight modifications to have it not too aggressive and too loud. But it has no master volume. It's the original circuitry. It uses 5881 tubes, and a few frequencies I tweaked a little bit. So, and that amp is still in my arsenal because maybe it's still the best one. Maybe it's the second best one. I bought many more over the years. But this amp in the studio, with exactly this cabinet, by the way, you are sitting in front of of my Marshall cabinet that I bought at the same time, was my secret weapon for the fat rock tone. So
the people cannot see it, but I really love the marker here where you put the microphones on. Yeah. So that's a little bit of history here. Nice.
Yeah, I mean, this is it makes a nice table for a video studio these days because it's too heavy. I mean, I do have 2 4x12s. One is here, one in the next room, and it's like I don't gig with that anymore. It's like I'm too old for that. Too heavy. So, and this amp actually gave me a challenge because it was loud, and I had that feeling I want to be in control of that amp. And I specially formed a band to do that, which is called Dreist. This band here, which is German lyrics, three-piece band. I love 3-piece bands. And exactly this amp I was gigging with. There's even a few pictures of me with that amp. Nobody can see in the corner, top right. It's very small. Maybe Lucas can show. Maybe I show you afterwards. And that's me in the times where I was still smoking. Okay, this is another thing, from very 90s, 80s, or whenever that was. So leaning against a 4x12 and having that amp on top. No power soak, no prisoners, and that amp we had. I had at my office, and you played it for the first time, kind of like
I play the Marshall like this for the first time, or like having the experience of having a tube amp like this for the first time, because that's part of my history. I never really played a tube amp so far. I once had an experience with our good friend Henning Pauli, HP42, where he invited me to make a video, and I talked with him and I told him I never played a tube amp, and he was saying like, okay, stay here that night, we're going to check out some of the amps. But I never played a real old Marshall, and this is a really interesting experience. Now, I mean, I'm playing guitar for 20 years. Again, after the Pod 2, it was, Veta 2, then Kemper, now it's Fractal, Neural DSP, all these kind of things. But at a certain point, I thought to myself, well, okay, I have to get the experience of where all of this comes from. Because I think at a certain point, this can be important to get an awareness and a knowledge of how to find your own tone, how to create your own tone, because that's definitely the lack in my playing, because I'm so used to having everything on the table. Press a button, get a preset, which sounds nice, and never have to take care of creating your own sound. I always took care of my technique and that stuff, which has also an importance here, definitely. Yeah. And it's a different world, definitely. But So we contacted and we said that we have to do these kind of experiences.
Yeah. And start at the very, very beginning. Mm-hmm. And so this is a video that we took at the office. You have played that amp with nothing but just that amp straight into a twin cap. Yeah. And my Strat.
Not my fancy Ibanez, but
not even the Ibanez. No. Just what.
Completely different world for me. Yeah.
And so let's watch that little video, because blind date, and then we take it from there. Yeah. Because that's a journey where it comes from, and then we can build it up, and you will see. Check out our little video. Well, here we are, Justin Hombach.
Hello, hello.
And we have a very exciting experiment.
Oh, yes.
Today we are playing my first ever Marshall, which is a JMP 50 watt, which I own since I was like 17 or 18. And I recorded all my albums with this amplifier. And I even played that amp live without any power soak. And this, to me, is the classic Marshall with the whole glory of volume and saturation. And this is straight a Strat, the player into the Marshall. And for convenience, I can bridge the two inputs. Let's see what we can get out of this combination. So.
That is something new for me. I never played over an amp like this in my entire life before. I'm pure digital. I grow up pure digital, so this
is pure analog.
It's pure analog, yeah.
Yeah, and it is clean. When you turn down the volume on the guitar, you can play clean. Anything you want. And then when you move on like to 5, you have a crunch sound. Yeah, and then when you crank it all the way up, you get some kind of a vintage lead tone. So how does it feel when you try to play fast? I mean, you are the master of fast picking.
It is something really special, something really different, because definitely harder to play. It is definitely a lot more. Yeah, wow, I did something completely new for me, so I'm really, really blown away and stoked right now.
Yeah.
It's different to my quad cortex and my FM9 and everything else.
Yeah. So what I have done, I developed my tone with such a setup.
Yeah.
And maybe I show some of the stuff that I have been doing with that guitar. Just, you know. So
let the master play it.
So, yeah, this
not worthy of it at all.
No, but it's like.
So you definitely need more confidence when you play with a setup like this.
Yeah.
Because, wow, you really have to, wow. I mean, it makes so much a difference when you play this because you know how to punch.
I learned it.
Yeah, you learned it that way.
I specially formed a 3-piece band around this amplifier to get the Hendrix feel, how to handle such a dynamic thing in the real life.
Yeah.
Because I came from a Mesa Boogie that had controlled gain, and I wanted to have that raw Hendrix feel, and this was the starting point. And then,
that's definitely harder of a challenge to have this as a starting point than the. You need more confidence. You really have to punch in to get the full. On the other hand, you can still do. Wow, I really like that feeling. Wow. Wow.
Okay, so I think that's a fascination for like AC/DC, and maybe there's another classic combination with the Les Paul with humbuckers, just for the fun of it. Same setting, different guitar, and then see what happens with that. But this, I think, it's obvious, clear. So Okay, for the humbucker, I use only one input and get rid of the bridge, because the bridge makes it smoother, which is great for the Stratocaster.
Yeah.
See, now it's the clarity. Check this out. Les Paul, old school, you know, feel like Led Zeppelin.
This guitar is heavy.
Yeah, well,
it's much heavier than my Ibanez guitars, my headless Ibanez guitars.
So yeah. So basically, this is where it all started. Okay, and for now, I will try to make the AMP1 sound similar, so we can take this to the studio and have a reference. Okay, so this is the Marshall. I think quick and dirty, this is kind of close enough so we know how this sounds and we get the same feel. But now I have a master volume, which this Marshall doesn't have.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and this is actually part of the sound. When I go... This is not a power soak.
Yeah.
That's just the loss of volume. So for me, rock music needs to be a bit loud.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, otherwise. Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah. Okay, let's go to the studio.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this was the experience. We are now back in the video studio, back from the office. What people probably don't get watching that video is how loud it actually was. So we had like two mics. We had one clip-on mic for the voice, and there was a room mic, and we have edited, Lucas sitting behind over there has edited the volume so that you could hear us talk, but the amp was stage volume.
Yeah.
And What was your experience playing such an loud amp?
The biggest learning was that you definitely does not have to be shy, or it's like danger when you are shy playing these kind of things. You need confidence. When I played the first time with the Strat, the amp, I was really like touching it, trying to get like small dynamic kind of things out of it. And after I saw you playing, how you punched in, I had to tell myself, okay, fuck it. Now I have to do it. Just fuck it. You have to do it. You have to punch in. You have to play more aggressive. You have to play a little bit, wider than usual. And then it sounded completely different, and it worked a little bit more like this. So you have to be able to have these kind of two levels, playing really punchy, really attackful, but also sensitive and really slowly, and not slowly, but really with a lot of dynamics. So that was really the biggest learning. After seeing you playing, really punching in, I thought like, okay, it is like approaching somebody that you like. You sometimes have to say, fuck it, go to that girl and just speak with her, you know?
But then you actually get together with this thing, you know, and if you're too shy, you don't get the full range from the Marshall in that case. And of course, there comes also some downside with it. When you overplay it, there is a point where it's getting hard and maybe even doesn't sound so good. I mean, if we would do the Stevie Ray Vaughan thing, digging in, it would make sense. But, just there is a sweet spot, and if you want to play rock, you have to hit them. When you play the Les Paul, how does this compare to the Strat for you?
Sound-wise, it's definitely maybe a little bit easier because there's some already, throughout the humbucker, there's already some compression there, etc. Playing-wise, I'm more kind of a Strat player as well.
You like the Strat for the scale and for the feel.
For scale, feeling, etc. But sound-wise, of course, handling a Strat, I could imagine, I mean, you are the expert on that, handling a Strat probably is a little bit harder than handling a Les Paul, sound-wise.
Yeah, but this was my starting point. As we probably could hear in the video, the combination of the Les Paul and the Marshall was like good instantly. It was like, okay, I didn't change anything. Later, what I have done was getting the bridge out from the two inputs and have the humbucker only on the high treble input all the way up, and that is the classic combination. Humbucker into that first channel, crank it, and the rest is history. Do it with a guitar, and everything makes sense that way. For me,
would I recommend this kind of setup to a beginner? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Because when you start to learn, I mean, I'm an educator as my job, you know, that's the thing. And I always, when I was watching your playing and I was listening to your playing, I always had the educator cap on. And I was thinking like,
do that.
That's not something for, not necessarily that, but that's definitely not something for a beginner when you start playing this. I mean, back in the day, you maybe didn't had a chance, but I think this is the reason why a lot of people, either they created their own kind of technique. For some players it worked out. For, I assume, the most players it didn't work out. We'll talk about that later a little bit as well. But as an educator, I think, okay, there are easier ways to get into guitar playing, because that's really work. It is work to deal with these kind of beasts. At a certain point in your career, when you want to be a guitar player, like for myself, I said to myself, okay, I have to get that experience at a certain point, definitely. But hell no, if you're a beginner, no.
But see, this was why I was so lucky as a teenager, because before that fucking loud, dynamic, raw Marshall experience, I had the Mesa Boogie with tamed, sweet high gain already. And so this was a success story for me. Me being a beginner with such a creamy amp was giving me the confidence to carry on with the guitar and not feeling like a loser. Because if you have this thing and if you're not experienced, you feel like a loser. The amp is like, it is, for me, it's like a wild horse. You sit on a wild horse and you have to have that wild horse under control.
Yeah.
Otherwise, the wild horse says, "No, get off my back, fuck you," you know, and you play like, "Oh, I give up," you know. The horse is mean, and the Marshall is mean.
It's not like that the one thing is better than the other thing.
No.
They are different worlds. And I think that
Absolutely.
is really important to understand. The digital world and the high gain world, where everything is like super crystal clear, has its pros and its cons,
Absolutely.
definitely, and this also has its pros and its cons. You have to see the value in it and how you can work with that. I think that's really important.
And for me, you know, with that raw, dynamic starting point, I have put more and more features into my signal path to get to a usable first volume, because this was so loud. It was Led Zeppelin stage volume, basically. You know, it is fucking loud. I mean, if Bonham would be playing in the office with me, it would be perfect, because that's volume. But these days we have to be careful with that volume, and therefore you cannot actually work with such an amp anymore. And even back in the day with Dreist, with my band, my singer was not happy at all, and the guys in the pub were also not happy at all. And I wanted to be the real deal, man. You know, I started with actually nothing, just with that amp being cranked, because I wanted to have that real man experience. Bullshit. And I learned from there. I learned what helps, because let me show you really quick. I think this is the Marshall. So, here we go. Come on. Okay. Fucking plug. So, I mean, this is the same amp we just had a... Okay. And this is, by the way, the AMP1. So, and when you look at the settings that I have used to recreate that, it's the vintage channel, it's the tone in the middle, everything on 5, it's the gain on full, and I used here this as a gain reduction on, what is it, let's say 11 o'clock. That's it. To be like that Marshall, okay. But when I offer the AMP1 as it is, I don't have the gain reduction. Why? Because now comes the reality. That is fucking loud and fucking hard to play. So, and what I have done to make it usable under normal conditions, even me being the authentic vintage nerd, I want to be, you know, vintage as can be, you know, I know this is what it is, but wait a minute, let's save the tubes.
That's another thing that I never thought about.
Yeah. Well, digital guys don't save anything. It's like who cares? I mean, by the way, such a tube amp is a great heater, because it produces about 300 watts just of heat.
Probably perfect for the climate, and for your bill, for your electricity bill.
Yeah, that's why I switch it off. And okay, now to this AMP1 and how to get such a sound. What am I actually doing with that sound? It's like, okay, I want my dynamic, which means... So first thing is get the master down, because I mean, I'm here literally close to 7. And AMP1 users, we have a few, they know 7 is about shit, scary loud. So I would probably go to, let's say, 5 or 4 or 5.
Your volume, is it cranked up, or is it also on the volume on the channel?
On the channel, it's cranked.
It's cranked, yeah. So the volume is just there for the sound more, and the masters for... okay.
Yeah, so now I bring down the volume of the amp. I have to make it louder here, so that you guys have the same volume again. But I'm getting rid of the power amp sag, which is actually happening in AMP1 as well, like a Marshall. So let me show you. Less volume here, and then still kind of similar. Okay, so but the thing is like. I can even have that on 3. And that's jazz volume now. So and that's the good thing about this amp versus this amp, because that amp couldn't do it.
Yeah.
If I would reduce the volume there, the saturation would be gone. And if I would use a power soak, the sound will shrink.
Okay.
And that's why I'm so proud of my AMP1 concept. Because, and the next thing I can do, if I want to, I can scale the power here with my power soak, which is not having any influence. So that gives me even more power amp saturation than the original. I have options. Me personally, that's a nice thing, because back to but do I need it? I replaced this with gain. And this is why I have no problems with gain if it makes sense. So I increase the gain like to full now. So do I miss anything? Well, I miss a little bit of that punchy dynamic, but on the other hand, I'm not scaring everybody with what I did at the office, and how, so it's like, I'm still what I was before, but a little bit more tamed, a little bit more civilized. So, and therefore I tell people we have a power soak, but the power soak is not even being used. It's all the way up, so it's no functionality. It's all coming from the vintage channel to get that vintage tone. So, and I can go even lower. Give it a little reverb and give it a boost, even more gain. And here I have the feeling that I still have the vintage quality, but I have a compressed sound, but in a nice way compressed. And some people say, hey, in the end, I'm using what works for me.
Yeah.
And it's not about, some people say you have to play 13s on the high E string.
Yeah.
And I go, no, because I play 9s.
Yeah.
9 to 46. And if I've been there, I've tried to do the real man challenge, and it in the end is whatever works for you.
Yeah.
And
exactly.
Billy Gibbons plays 8s. and he's
Ingvi too.
See, Ingvi too. So, hey guys, there's whatever choice is yours, works.
I say I have the philosophy, because I play really technical kind of music and more kind of really precise metal music, where you don't have too much room for, I would say, expression in a way of dynamic, etc.
Yeah.
A lot of things, it's more like a classical approach. A lot of things has to be really on point, and because you're playing such really complex arrangement together with other musicians. So I always say, for me to have this kind of level of performance, playability over sound. For me comes first, playability. Now I'm changing this a little bit more, and I'm changing it to playability and sound. Yeah.
And see, that's the good thing, I believe, for the electric guitar. We have so many aspects of the electric guitar that it actually never ends. And we can learn from anybody, anything, any genre, and whatever resonates with you, that you can use to express yourself, is a win.
Yeah.
And so, you know, that's what I am excited about. Maybe I'm not a whatever reggae guitar player, but sometimes I can have a reggae guitar chord, bing, and it makes an atmosphere, and I get inspired by other people. I would never think of such a thing because, you know, it's like, okay, why? But then, you know, maybe you have an echo and I think, boy, at the right point, the right thing is magic.
Absolutely, yeah.
And okay, back to the dynamic. So for me, I even took it to another level. So I play a lot on that vintage channel because this is where I come from. But when I switch to the other channels, I try to make them sound like my vintage channel, just having a bit more from the substance of the other channels. Other people want to have totally different sounds for each channel. You know, they want the power chord, punchy sound on that channel, and they want the hoodle doodle doodle lead tone on whatever, the modern, for instance, and they use the vintage just for rockabilly, and they have like 3 different words, 3 different sounds. But my personal approach is I try to be myself on every channel and just start with like boost off. So that's without a boost, and by the way, this would be without the. This is how the amp ships, and this is how I actually like it a lot. I'm not saying it's the only thing. I like the reduced gain things and stuff like that, but it's not needed. People always come with concessions. What's the word in English? Vorurteilen und Vorstellungen.
Prejudice.
See? Yeah. Thank you. And this on 10 sounds to me like this thing cranked and even more. So I can still go with my. And it compresses with my Strat in a way that I can. It still has the woodiness of that Marshall, but it's not as ouch in a way. You know, it's nicer. So, starting from here, my next level is add the boost, and I still can be clean. That's my private solution. Instead of having a Les Paul, I have a boost.
Yeah, nice.
You know, so that has. So, and if that is not enough, I go for the next channel first without a boost. And on the vintage channel, I have less dynamic. When I compare this to the on the classic channel, when I compare this to the vintage with more dynamic. Here, when I dig in harder, nothing happens anymore, because the vintage follows that old school tube, endless soft clip world that becomes harder but has still more dynamic and has still more dynamic to be covered. And the classic channel has a more, it comes to a point when it's saturated, it doesn't get much. It gets a bit more, but it is not dynamic anymore, which is a good thing because that makes playing easier. And I can play even legato. And that's without a boost. Now, with the boost, it still cleans up, but it's not as sensitive. So, and then I can even go to the next channel, but my aim is always try to be in the same ballpark like my vintage channel, but have a little bit more. So. I'm losing a bit of that clean moment
of course,
on the modern, but I still, but this is my concept.
It's interesting concept because it's like, it goes seamless into the next kind of section. You don't have these hard cuts in between each channel. Yeah, that's really interesting.
And that's the way how I dial it with the Strat. I put all my tones counterclockwise to make the Strat warmer, and that's basically it. I have more gain, but I have always a slightly different section of the spectrum of the gain.
Yeah,
that is my concept.
That's an interesting kind of approach to these kind of things. I never thought about that. Yeah, great.
So, that is my life
in a nutshell.
In a nutshell here. And for me, I have to admit, more gain makes it easier to play. But I have also the feeling that I learned a lot from going back to that really untamed horse.
I mean, often I get the question of what kind of sound should I use to practice with from students of mine or people who are approaching my masterclass, etc. And my answer is because a lot of people are always saying, okay, you play clean, that's the best for practicing, etc. But I say use every sound and have a diversity in your sound, in your practice routine, because every sound covers up different kind of mistakes or things that can happen. When you have a high gain sound, you don't have to be, your hand synchronization has to be on point, because when you have, sometimes miss a note and a certain note has a lower kind of level at the other note, then it's covering up a little bit that. But on the other hand, on the high gain sound, is when you're doing something like this, you touch a little bit a different string. It's
a lot of bullshit noise.
Yeah,
and controlling the gain and the extra noise is an art. Just like playing a great tone. You have to control the guitar.
You have to really be into how can I mute with the left and the right hand and all these kind of things. On the other hand, clean sound is perfect for hand synchronization, because you immediately hear it in a run when not every note is picked perfectly because of the dips in the level, etc. And the crunch sound has also different kind of things. About that covers up certain things. So I always say, okay, for me in my practice routine, I try to have like every day a different kind of sound setting when I do my practice sessions, when I do my practice stuff. Because it always showcases different kind of things.
I see a interesting comment here. 6-string TV.
Hey, Kalen.
Need to teach Thomas some pick slanting.
Well, maybe we get later into that.
Well, why not? I mean, the thing is, I have those weird picks. I always had weird picks. Where's my... Wait a minute. Lukas. Hinter deinem... da ist das Ding, genau. So, sorry, guys. This is almost an accident. So, this is... I'm a big Ritchie Blackmore fan, okay? And this is the shape that Ritchie used to play.
Ooh, okay.
Okay. So, and that's a shape that is very bizarre. Maybe.
mean, the thing is with pick slanting has nothing to do with the pick itself, but the thing is with picks, so you can play with everything at a certain level as long as it has a corner and a kind of shape to it. More important is the technique in general that you have in your right hand, etc. All this kind of stuff. I made a video on my YouTube channel where I just took randomly stuff that was on my table. Like I played with
coins or
with a coin or with from cans, the thing that you open up a can with. I ripped it off and played with that. I played with a corner of a piece of paper because as long as it has a corner and your technique has a specific level and specific clarity, then
you get the point. You get
everything. Or it doesn't matter too much. I mean, I prefer certain picks, but more because of the sound from it and because of individual kind of things. But I think more important than what kind of pick you use is actually the technique that you use.
Absolutely. And you are the expert when it comes to that, because I know how much time and attention to detail you have on that. I'm self-taught, so I mean, this is why it's actually a good comment. Teach me some pick slanting. I wanted to tell you a little bit. My story is this bizarre pick. I have of course I got it because I'm a Blackmore fan, and for some reason I don't get stuck with that pick. If I hand this pick sometimes to other people, they don't get anything out of that. And what I like about it is that the alternate pick thing seems to be, even though I don't hold it this way, I don't know, I hold it, I just don't have it parallel, but I don't have an angle in this way.
Which is absolutely fine.
Is that fine? Okay.
For being on one string.
See? And then maybe it's not fine for other things. And I learned that way, and this is the only thing that I can do. But I know what you mean when you go when you have to string keeping, or what is the
concept behind pick slanting is that when you go from one string to a different string, doesn't matter if string skipping or going to the next string, that when you angle your right hand just quite a bit, then you can create a freedom of the tip of the pick, that it's free in the air, so that you can go
over the string.
Yeah, with the movement you can go to the next string and you are not stuck between the strings. And to say it really easy right now, to really bump it down. I made, my YouTube channel is full with these kind of things, and that's because that helped me in my playing a lot. A couple of years ago, discovering this kind of technique. And basically it's that we actually need only two kind of movements. This movement for the alternate picking itself. Be careful when you're doing it differently when you're doing it on the guitar, because it is the deviation movement. Now that's the rotational movement. It's the deviation movement, so like this, which feels weird in the beginning when you're doing it alone without the guitar. But it's not the rotational movement that we do in our.
Is this okay? What I'm doing?
Yeah. That's okay. So far fine.
But I need to make it correct, or to feel home. I have to get my. What is it? The palm on the tremolo.
That's fine. That's absolutely
because
fine.
that is kind of an anchor. And then I can do this, and that feels for me relaxed.
Again, what I wanted to say is you need just like two motions for the pick slanting as well.
One is the rotation.
One is the rotational for the pick slanting, with that you're doing it, and the other one for the picking itself is just like, this kind of deviation movement. The thing is with own kind of technique and own kind of approach is because that's something that I have to deal with a lot in the field that I do. Is that a lot of people are referring to other guitar players, how they are doing it, etc., etc. My approach to it, or what I always try to tell the people, is when you have a technique, you are happy with that technique, you can play the stuff that you want to play to express yourself. It's the same like with tone and with gear, everything. And everything is super fine. When you can express yourself, when you are happy with yourself. And when you say, sometimes I accidentally hit a different string, or I'm maybe not 100% super clean when I have a high distortion, high gain sound. when you say that works for your kind of style and
Yeah.
expression, then it's,
Okay.
and I'm the last one to say change your technique.
I mean,
but when it's not fine for you, and that's where people start to approach me, and that's why what is my job to help the people who say, okay, I want to be a little bit cleaner.
Yeah.
I'm quite messy when I'm playing. It does not sound like I wanted to have or like I wanted to be with the sound. Then, of course, like with gear, like with technique in this kind of field, it is also important to maybe overthink the technique in this kind of area and in this kind of area, and maybe to go a little bit away. And that's something that I always recommend, to watch other famous guitar players, because sometimes they have a specific technique that works for them, and they are extremely lucky. I'm not saying talented, but I say they are sometimes lucky
because
that it works for them.
They found a way that works.
It works for them, but I know for every guitar player that has like a weird kind of picking movement or something else, I know probably 15, 20 guitar players who tried it the same way and it didn't work for them.
Yeah.
And you are in that imagination from like, okay, it works for him, but it have to work for me as well because he's playing like that. We have to go away from that, and we have to see guitar education. That is something where I often get a little bit criticized by, but that's totally fine. We have to see guitar education more and more like classical education. Like when it comes to creating a technique for modern speed stuff, to express yourself. And that's nobody has to be forced to do a certain thing, but if you want to change something, if you want to get better, then...
Of course. And I think that style of music requires that kind of technique. I mean, it's like if you would play in a classical orchestra, if you play the violin, you have to be at that technical level to be able to make that music. If you are just making some cool ambient whatever sound with your violin, and then the speed is not an issue. It's different aspects of the whole thing.
Absolutely.
And of course it's aesthetics. Neil Young, for instance, if you show him your technique, he will lose all the dirt. That is part of his sound.
I would disagree a little bit. Because the thing is, for my approach is to have control over what I'm doing. That I have the control over the way how I express myself on the instrument, and that not a habit that I created in the past has the control over me. I changed my picking technique as well a lot in the past. Like last year, I changed my picking technique. I played like this, with my index finger being free, and now I play like this with index finger with my middle finger supporting my index finger. I changed certain things, and I try to evolve as in my technique, because I realized with some evolution or some changing in the technique, I also get more control over what I'm doing, so that I can be able to have a specific dirt when I want to have it, and to have it clean when I want to have it clean. If you get what I mean.
The funny thing is, when I was younger, I started like that, like Gary Moore. I saw Gary Moore, like like with a lot of aggression, like beating the Marshall, kind of, guys, and you can see his face and his full energy. And then I saw a guy on television when I was a teenager, and he had the fingers like that, And I thought, what is the difference? And I found out that I can play more relaxed.
And I can tell you exactly why. That's exactly
okay. That's your job now.
Because I released a free kind of ebook a couple of months ago, which is called the Biomechanics of Speed Picking. Because for 2 years now, I'm really into what is actually going on with the muscle and the signal from our brain going to the muscles, and why are certain things working and certain things are causing some problems here and there.
You get stuck or blocked.
You get rot, etc., etc. It's for free. You can check it out on my channel. There you can download it. The Biomechanics of Speed Picking. It's in PDF.
Your channel is
Justin Hombach.
Justin Hombach.
The thing is, a lot of people are doing this, that they're stretching your fingers, because with that you are compensating the misleading movement in your wrist, and with that you are I have to translate it right now a little bit in English, but you are activating certain muscles, and with that activation, you get this kind of shaky feeling in your right hand to have the movement quite fast. But the problem is you lose precision and control.
Yeah.
Because the more muscles are activated in your arm, that's the whole kind of idea behind that biomechanics kind of thing. There's the one scientist who formed biomechanics, Nikolai Bernstein is a Russian scientist from the 50s and the 60s. He realized a problem, which is the freedom of degree problem, which means that the more knuckles, the more joints, sorry, that's the word I was looking for, joints, and the more muscles are activated, it's harder for our brain to process the correct signal to the correct muscle, the correct movement, because it gets distorted.
Yeah, too much information.
Too much information because it goes to this muscle, to that muscle, because too many muscles are activated.
Yeah.
And with that, we lose a lot of precision in the micro movement. And with these kind of things, that's this kind of the whole big philosophy behind my idea of the biomechanics of speed picking, is to be as relaxed and to be as truly relaxed. Because sometimes people think, I'm doing it like this for 20 years, this is my way how it's being relaxed. Yeah. But no, you think it is relaxed because you're telling your brain for 20 years that's the correct way to do it. Yeah. But to really find out and to really get that awareness of your body, like, where do I have little movements in my right and my left hand, little kind of, before you even play a note, little kind of muscle activation that in the end hinders you playing in the end hinders you to really play freely and relaxed. Yeah. Really bump it down right now, really stripped it down right now. A lot of that stands in the Biomechanics of Speed Picking ebook, which is for free again, and my other work. But yeah, it is a super. I absolutely love that. I'm a super huge nerd about this. When I started to dig into biomechanics like 2 years ago, it is like, because there's so many solutions for me as an educator for a lot of problems that I see in students or other players who approach me like, hey, I want to improve, but I don't know why I'm not really improving. It's often either the approach, how they are playing something with the technique, or how they are practicing something. Yeah. And both kind of fields, also the neuroscience kind of field with how to practice something, it is super interesting. Oh, fuck, I love it. Yeah. And it helped me as well much. Of course. Yeah.
I mean, that's why I love my electronics, because that gives me like little details that all are usable. Yeah. For me, the whole thing makes sense. You know, it's like I can use it myself. Yeah. You know, I make the stuff for myself. Yeah. It makes me happy.
It gives you control over what you're doing, and you're not anymore,
a slave to something that you're not happy with.
And I'm a slave to sound, because there I lack of experience and knowledge.
This will come.
Hopefully.
Because it's like, it always starts with the awareness. Yeah. It's like, I think it's the same thing if it's playing. Yeah. If you don't know a difference, if you don't hear a difference, it doesn't matter. Yeah. Because there is no point connecting and taking this to the next level. Yeah, exactly.
And this technique has so many similarities. Yeah. For example, for me, I'm lucky that I make a living out of content creation, because I see my playing every day, and this can be a good and a bad thing. But
it's a good monitor.
Yeah, it is really good feedback, and it shows you in really good ways sometimes, where certain things does not work. Yeah. Because our perception is so limited when we are playing and when we are practicing. We sometimes don't realize
what we're actually doing.
Yeah. Yeah, and I had to view videos of myself in slow motion to understand. Oh, here. I think I was picking, but I did not pick that note. I played a hammer on here, or here I used economy picking, all these kind of little things. And of course you can accept it and say, okay, this is how it is.
But if you want to change it because you want to be better or different, then you know it.
Yeah, and the same for sound. But on the other hand, I don't really hear like sometimes a good sound or a bad sound, because I don't know the difference. I don't know the experience yet. Before we started with this kind of video here, you told me like, sometimes you are on the concert, you're thinking like, dude, your mids has to be a little bit more up, etc., because you have that awareness and that experience that I absolutely like in. Yeah.
Yeah, and for me, it's like when I watch other bands, other players, it's like, okay, this guy is perfect, but I knew one here, one there, and I would be in heaven, and the guy too. Yeah. And for me, what I learned in my early years, which was also a good kind of school, was being the session guy. Even it wasn't always the most demanding music at the beginning. To hear yourself recorded on a record, which means timing, tuning, intonation,
absolutely,
and sound.
Yeah.
And so, at the age of 17, they paid me money to do that. And so, of course, I wanted to improve in every aspect, because you listened back to the recording with the engineer, and you could have a holy grail moment when you thought, man, listen how the guitar sounds in the mix, that even if it's just a G chord, if it's jingling, and it's like you are the star of the recording for the engineer when you deliver the right arrangement and the right sound.
Yeah.
Because they have only limited access with EQs and stuff. And back in the days, if you had no good sound, the production was not good sound. We fix it, and the mix is only true to a certain percent. Today we have plugins, we can change things, we have a lot more options. But back in the days, there was an EQ, but it was not getting that much better. You could try to get rid of the bad aspects, but you could not shape a sound like today. And therefore, even you had to play on time, or you had to. There was maximum 24 tracks. One was gone for the sync, for MIDI computer synchronization. So then there was like 10 tracks for drums, because you want to have the snare from top, from bottom. Drums are so important. No samples back in the days. Toms, maybe some room mics, and then there was the singer, there was some background vocals, and the guitar had maybe 3 tracks. And trust me, when you play the solo, there was only this was the last thing to do after the rhythm guitars. You better play the good solo, or you had to be punched in. And punched in means the engineer had to do it, so his timing was important. It's like, don't fuck it up. If you press record too early, all the rest will be erased. So and so there's a lot of pressure, and you have to deal with the pressure, and you have to learn how to play in time, in tune, and that stuff, because there is not 150-second times, or I do 5 tracks and then I bounce myself to death and find this note from here and make comping like crazy, which is all good today. In those days, you played one solo, and if it was not the killer solo, you had another 5 goes. But there was one where you said, this must be it. And I fucked up this one note. Let's try and punch me in there. But then you needed to be on the spot, because with 3, this would only work for 1 or 2 or twice. The third time, the engineer would do a mistake, and you would regret it, because the beautiful note afterwards or before was gone. So it's also...
And nowadays you have so many more options, and sound-wise as well. When I recorded records, I never, so far in my career, brought my own amp. I mean, because first of all, I did hand amp. You cannot go to a recording session with a Line 6 Pod 2. That would be quite weird. But I always could trust the engineer that they have good amps, that they know their sound, and that they have the knowledge and the experience with the sound. And nowadays, I mean, you can change so many things afterwards with plugins and everything. So, I love plugins. I'm so happy that I never had to experience your time.
Well, I would say I learned something from,
definitely.
And that's the same thing like riding that untamed horse. I learned also how to squeeze out notes. And even if I have a lot of gain now, I still have the...
That's it. Why I want to definitely have more experience with these kind of things, because I want that and I want the clean, high-fast shredding. That the combination out of that would be my currently like my sound vision or my sound goal to have it. You know, like this really punchy, dirty playing, but also then going to that extremely precise shredding.
So, but that's a good because you found out yourself when you are too nice to that Marshall. You don't get rewarded for it. You know, it's like that horse that says, you know what, I do what I want. Maybe you have fun, but if you hit it, and even though now with the boost on, I think you can still hear it. And this is when I listen to other guitar players, I try to fake now a standard guitar player playing similar thing. They would go. It's not like. Sounds still okay, but it's a different thing.
Absolutely, it's a different world, different kind of attitude and different way to express yourself.
So, and that's something that I learned from, like, Gary Moore was my hero back then, because I always felt that he puts a lot of energy behind every note. And anyway, this is what inspired me, that, oh man, I want, it has to smoke, you know. And even if he plays just one note, let's go for the modern, and he does it on Les Paul, but this is, it's I'm sure it's only noise, and it's a lot of notes, but it has a beginning and an end, and it has a meaning. It's dirty, and it's not precision. And that's also okay.
It's but like precise chaos. It's still chaos that you want, because you have the control of it, and it's you made the decision to have that kind of expression right in that moment. And I think that's really, really important for us as a musician, that we,
so there's so many colors. Okay, what I'm sometimes lacking is the full control over that, because, I highly respect and like what you are doing in that, and I'm cheating. That my solution on that end is always, if I don't know, I try to cheat, and sometimes I make jokes about it. It's like Eddie Van Halen. He is the smartest ass on this planet. When he plays things like in the end solo, I think he only plays. So I mean, maybe he has up and down stroke. I can fake that. Don't ask me what I'm doing. I just know there's a beginning and there's an end, and in between I make. And every note gets a hit somewhere. Or I mean, maybe he does only legato or one hit per string. So I mean, it's easy. That's the thing about cheating. There is a beauty about cheating, and there's some shit about cheating. The beauty about cheating is what I like about Eddie's cheating. Sorry, this guy is a genius. Don't get me wrong, but the beauty in his cheating is when he plays that finger ring. Harmonically, it's a lot of bullshit that actually makes sense. I mean, it is based on like C major scale, but then
He's using the minor 7 in it, and he's using the same shape just over all the strings, right?
It's the same shape, and then he changes from major 7 to minor 7, back to sharp 9. I mean, technically he plays the same fingering, but harmonically he expands the scale from from C major to Mixolydian to
flat 9,
Phrygian,
Phrygian,
and you think, wow, that's art, and it's only cheating, but it's the way he plays it and the way his attitude sells it. The guy is genius. I mean, if you wouldn't sell it as, guys, that's it. This is the last run of my solo. This is the climax. I wouldn't dare to compose it understanding these notes. He did it. And he did it so beautifully in a way that I have to admit, genius. Genius cheating. It's an art by itself. So, again, in the full options of colors we have the precision, we have the dirt, we have a little bit of cheating, and it's all okay if you are happy with it.
That's exactly the point, that you are happy with what you create and how you express yourself.
And
on the other hand, is it not okay what Allan Holdsworth did, because he was never happy with what he did? So
that is an Allan Holdsworth problem. I was lucky. I met Allan Holdsworth a couple of times because back in the Houston Kettner days when I was there,
he was also playing Houston Kettner back in the day. I remember.
So I was hanging out with Allan Holdsworth for 2 days when he had shows in Karlsruhe, Germany, and I was driving. I actually did an interview with him backstage and things like that, and we talked because he was in my car. I was driving him around, you know, and what a nice guy. And I didn't understand a lot of what he was doing because he is like in a different universe, and it made so much sense in his world what he was playing, and
but he never really liked it. That's the thing that you hear a lot. I mean, I saw him a couple of times, but I never, of course, spoke with him. But from people that knew him, they always tell like, he was never really happy and satisfied with his performances.
I know what you mean, because well, there's a lot of details. His father, I think, was a big band arranger,
could be,
something super high, complex musician already as a father. The vision that he had about music was maybe beyond ours, in a way that he saw the fretboard, he saw all the notes at the same time in a way or whatever, and then harmonically, I mean, he's when we come to whatever melodic minor, this was sometimes his starting point, you know, and we use it cheesy, like, okay, for the dominant little classic moment to be a little Ingwie glorious, and he was living in this universe, just like a major key, you know, just like nothing, and it was totally natural for him. Well, you play this, and then he had fingers like the Kraken, and he had technique like nobody else, and his legato things, and the funny thing is, I can really enjoy, or I did enjoy watching him playing live. I can listen to one track of Allan Holdsworth, and then I'm fed up.
Okay.
It is too intense for me. And that's part, I think, of his restless soul in a way, that he was on another level, and he was on the other level because he was never happy, and he always wanted to be better, just for himself. He was not an ego guy. He didn't show any of that. He had no ego. You know, it was just for himself.
Maybe, probably a little bit more ego would be quite healthy for his mental state.
Yeah. And then I mean, I think the thing that made him most happy was his beer brewing. When he talked about beer brewing, his eyes were really shining.
He loved beer.
And this was, and maybe that was way simpler than his world of music. Even though, you know, for me it's killer art, but it's just so intense. Even though a lot of the stuff I don't understand, I can listen to one song and I'm flashed, and then, you know, I need my body needs 1 year to take the next song.
Okay.
It's that weird for me, but it's great.
Of course,
you know, it's like everything is special. The meters is special. The scales is special. The sound is special. When he starts to fly, it's like, what is this guy doing?
Yeah, absolutely. So if you viewers haven't seen or listened to any Allan Holdsworth yet,
Allan Holdsworth is scary. And by the way,
you have to give him time. It took me a lot of time, but I think now it's one of the most beautiful kind of arts and playing that we have out there. Yeah. Oh, I absolutely love it.
It's for me still maybe the highest level. And I mean, Eddie was a big fan.
And he influenced so many,
Yeah. Oh, so this was our...
A little bit of sidetrack to Allan Holdsworth.
But it belongs to the thing. So there's something about that gives us fun. And I mean, what is that element for me? The fun is that dirt, is that energy. I'm an energy kind of guy.
Yeah, me too, absolutely.
Yeah, and I get in sync with my energy when I have the feeling, hey, you know, the groove is in. And I have, I have a good... So that's kind of my energy curve. I want to float from some sweet notes to the let's do the horse ride. You know, kick the animal and so that's my thing. What is giving you kicks?
I mean, it is also energy, but I think it's like, energy. It could be such a wide interpreted word. But it is still that drive and that energy which comes from that thing. But on the other hand, some runs that are leading to a certain point, some really nice, fluent, expressive kind of technique, and there it takes away for me the energy, at least for my playing, from my perspective, when I have, strings in that are not muted correctly, when you cannot hear the clarity of the run. The run that I just played was not perfectly, I know, and I'm not always perfect, but that's what I work to. That's why I'm practicing so much, because I want to be able to, play certain runs with such a fluidity and with such a clarity and precision. Yeah. And that's, it often has to do maybe with who we grew up with. You grew up with Gary Moore, with Ritchie Blackmore. Yeah. I'm more either like, Paul Gilbert, Yngwie Malmsteen, which I rediscovered in the past, but Yngwie Malmsteen, in his prime, he was like the perfect guy who did, who combined this kind of dirty energy with a lot of expression and a really wide vibrato, plus, this clarity in the runs and in his lines. That's some really, really great energy that Yngwie has, but also, of course, Petrucci and all these kind of guys that are huge important for me. So, and that is for me, my energy, the clarity and the precision in those kind of movements and the control over what you're doing. And that's for me the emotion. Because with the music that I do, a lot of people are always like, that's emotionless, noodling, whatever. But for me, this does not exist. Music that is not has emotion, or the music that has no emotions does not exist, because it has always some sort of emotion behind it. And people have to understand that they don't have to put their own standards on top on other people.
That never works.
Yeah.
I mean, sorry that I interrupt here.
Yeah.
But, you know, I believe that music is made by humans. And humans have their own personality. And therefore we have all our own taste.
Yeah.
And the decision what you like better is maybe better for you.
Yeah.
But I hate this thing, this guy is better than this guy, because we are comparing apple to peas to something. Music are fruits, and there are some fruits that you like better, and some people like sour fruits, and other like only sweet fruits.
And for me, taste is equal to emotion.
Yeah.
That's the same thing.
Yeah.
Because people see emotions differently.
Exactly.
People feel the emotions differently.
Yeah.
And I know that for a lot of viewers, this will probably not understandable, but there's one guitar player who do not release any emotions in me at all.
Okay.
His name is Steve Lukather. When I listen, and that's the thing. It doesn't matter who it is. It doesn't matter. It just doesn't care. Steve Lukather is touching so many guitar players, and that's absolutely fine. But that's my thing. He's not touching me.
Okay.
And I would rather, I personally, that's me personally.
Yeah.
And that's not saying, okay, this is better or worse, but I personally rather listen to Rusty Cooley and all these kind of 2000 shredders who are only playing 60 notes per second than to Steve Lukather. But that's my emotion.
Oh,
that's the emotion that I get. And I clap to everybody who is saying, yeah, Steve Lukather is for me the most emotional guitar player. That's super. That is fine. And people have to understand that emotion is taste. That it's different from everybody to everybody, from every human to every human.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
And just because you said that about Steve Lukather, I like Steve Lukather on Toto 1, maybe the best. And let me explain you why. I mean, this is maybe a bit crucial in a way, but I mean, since we opened that book, I highly respect this guy as a studio session player. Killer, hero, okay? The single notes he did on Michael Jackson stuff that's another thing. But let's talk about emotion where he touches me with his own thing. On the Toto 1, I feel him. It's like I feel the guy being whatever, angry, or I can feel Lukather, and I love it. But there are later albums after the Toto 4 and so, where people go, oh, it's so crazy. And to me, it's like, it doesn't talk to me. I don't get it anymore. Maybe for some reason, I'm disconnected with that.
Yeah.
And maybe it's because of what music the band did, and the whole thing is not really exciting to me. But I have to admit, I like that first record a lot.
Yeah.
It's like,
I mean, it doesn't matter who it is, but it is important to understand that that even just that I didn't get the emotions, it does not mean that other people won't get the emotions.
I know.
That you always see it for yourself. And the next important thing is, just because I don't get the emotion, it doesn't mean that it's emotionless music. And that's something that I always like to tell the people, that when they hear something for 20 minutes on a record, that maybe for them it's no emotion, or it's not touching these kind of people. For me, I sit there with a smile, because that's for me, it's pure kind of form of emotion. Emotion can be so differently. That's what I want to say in the end as well. Emotion can be not only sad and happy, there's so much in between that. Yeah. And emotion is such an individual thing like taste. Yeah. So there is no emotional music. And that's the fun for me, because we're talking about fun and that kind of energy and this kind of precision. And fun for me is practicing guitar.
Yeah.
When I could choose between only doing live record or only doing live gigs, performances, recording records, writing music, or practicing music, I would choose practicing music, because I love sitting there with the metronome doing this. That's my kind of meditation. I just absolutely love it.
And for me, it's live playing. Yeah. And I mean, I'm so lucky that I have the chance to play live in front of people. And that makes me happy, and I hope that makes the people happy. I just enjoy it so much, and if I can share my joy with other people in a live situation, I'm happy.
I mean, yes, that's true. I mean, I was on tour last week, and I did not play my own music. I was a session guitar player, but seeing the audience reacting in such a way, and I'm for myself fan of that kind of music that I played, and I grew up with a band where I'm now playing with in my teenage years. And I could really connect to the audience because I was thinking like, okay, when I wouldn't be here on stage, I would be with you guys in the crowd singing all these songs. Yeah. And this kind of feeling, that was something special. I have to be honest. That was something special.
Yeah, absolutely. So for me, there comes another thing that I watch a lot when I watch other players is what is blocking them? You know, sometimes I think it's a mental thing. And one of the typical things is like, they think everything is so difficult. I'm a loser. They have no confidence, and therefore I'm not saying underplay, but they are not connected with what they want to express because they fear to go for it or whatever that is. How do you?
I think confidence is the hardest mental thing. I think maybe for a lot of things, not only for music, but for a lot of things, to be confident. And I'm jealous to people who have big self-confidence because I don't have it. I know where it comes from. Yeah. I know sometimes it makes sense to dig deep into yourself and to find out where this comes from and maybe to work on that. But I know on the drive home, I will be watching that stream and I will be criticizing my playing so much. But that's my kind of thing to deal with as well. And confidence is hard. That is really hard. Yeah. And it costs a lot to go out there and to be in these kind of scenarios or these kind of situations. This kind of scenario here would be for a lot of people probably the nightmare. You cannot see the audience. That is one thing that makes it so much harder than playing on stage. Yeah. One, you cannot see who is watching there. I don't know, maybe my mom is watching there. Yeah. I don't know.
And you don't know the reaction.
You don't know the reaction of what you're doing right now.
When I'm on stage and I see that everything is fine over there, I'm totally relaxed, you know. Yeah. Then it's only my problem how I feel. But if I know, you know, the atmosphere in the club is cool, I'm happy. Yeah. And that gives me a feedback, and then I'm maybe playing even better than I thought. Yeah.
And in life, you know, life is life. That I'm sorry, I'm still a little bit sick, but when mistakes happen live, they happen. And they happen to all of us, to everybody. And when a performer is saying he's never doing mistakes, then he's lying. Yeah, that's bullshit. You know, everybody's sometimes accidentally playing a different chord. And I mean, on stage, I don't want to just stay there and focus on my playing. I want to move around. I want to share the energy in a physical way as well. Yeah. But these kind of things, again, a lot of people could rewatch all the mistakes that we are doing here and to saying, okay, fuck it, these mistakes happened, and to just being confident enough to stick with it. That's also sometimes in this kind of world really, really difficult.
I have learned a lot on that, and sometimes I suffer because I know how shit it is compared to what would have been possible. You know, it's just as an example. I was at the Guitar Summit and I jammed with Andy Timmons.
Yeah, I saw that.
And the headphone mix, which was not our fault, was so lousy because there were 30 headphones and some kind of compression was going on, and we lost the control because the sound in the headphones was changing, and so we didn't hear where we were, and that made us play like you know, like that. And the recording that has been here in the last episode was clear. So this was not the headphones that we heard. This was the clean recording. Yeah. And then the difference between the correct audio and how we react was, we could have been 20 times better if we would have it. And then people still applaud, and I think, okay, if you only knew, it would be different. That's something that's hard for me. Yeah. To be there and make a bridge between, hey guys, it was okay, even though I would punish myself and hate myself for being in that state. I know that Andy was feeling the same way.
That's the thing that I wanted to say, because every musician is feeling that.
Yeah.
You know, so many musicians are feeling that. Even high-class musicians who are touring the world, they are still probably rethinking what they are doing, and they try to...
Yeah, but he is a super pro, because we both kind of smiled it away and didn't get it onto the track of negative energy. We did it, and this is what I appreciate even more about him, because he, you know, said, yeah, man, it's cool. Okay, fuck it, but it's cool, you know. And that was something that we all have to learn when shit happens. That, you know, you play that mistake, or you have that unperfect whatever, that you don't get into a negative cycle of energy that brings you down. Destructive.
Like a spiral, where you're in a negative spiral for your negative spiral of thoughts, Because, I mean, I think it is, having a balance is quite important to say, or that you're able to say, okay, fuck it, it was how it was. But on the other hand, also to have still that drive where you think like, okay, but when I work on this and that and that, next time this could be better. It doesn't matter what, you know, if improvisation or technique or whatever, or at least for me, it's important to still have that kind of drive to know, okay, I only have to do these kind of things, or only in quotes, to next time have more control over the situation. And also to realize, okay, not only what you could do better in the future, but also what are you now doing better than in the past.
Yeah.
You know, trying to face similar kind of scenarios to understand and to see, okay, last time I was less confident. Now it was not 100% perfect, but I was more confident. I could express myself better, and you are always growing. Correctly.
That's so important, because growing is positive. That's the key.
Progressing all the time.
I'm reading comments. Hey guys, please let's do a test. I Won't Hold You Back solo Lukather versus Technical Difficulties. Is Technical Difficulties a song by Paul Gilbert?
This kind of song by Paul Gilbert.
Okay, that's technical. So
I don't know the Steve Lukather song, but I know Technical Difficulties.
I Won't Hold You Back. I think that's a ballad solo, if I remember correctly. But
funny thing, connected to both songs.
Both songs.
I mean, it could be like, okay, one is like a ballad, the other one's like a fast, aggressive kind of song.
And that's fine for you. I mean, and that's the point. I mean, we resonate with different things. And it would be, you know, we have 1 million people out there, and you choose your partner, and there's other people which don't become your partner because you don't like them that much, you know, and that's life. And that's the beauty of nature, because we have all the options. And for me, the key thing in life is to find out what you really want. No? Tell me what I want, what I really want.
Spice Girls. Did you know that there's a German version of that song back in the 90s? I didn't know that. I saw that on the internet, I don't know, like a couple of days ago, that there were like 3 German girls singing this in German. Really weird.
And I was in Tic-Tac-Toe, which was kind of the German version of the Spice Girls.
But it was not Tic-Tac-Toe, but...
I know, they didn't cover that song, but they covered the concept, you know?
Yeah, totally.
Ich find die Scheiße.
To listen to that riff so many times because my sister was such a Tic-Tac-Toe fan.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And I played probably... was she at a live concert?
Probably at one time she was at the live concert, I think somewhere in 97, 98. Could that be?
Right. This was 97.
Yeah.
So I was there. I played for your sister.
Could be.
And she was how old back then? 8, 9, 10?
Yes, no, she's older than me. She's 7 years older, so she was like 14, 14, something like that.
But that was the funny thing, because we played for very young girls and teenagers. Because this was a female, how you say, teenage energy. It was also a fun experience, and that music was so important for the girls. Some of them were fading away before the show.
Yeah.
They couldn't have the breath. We had always medicine guys that fresh air and unbelievable.
Great, yeah.
And they were throwing all kind of gifts on the stage, and the show started with the band first. The girls came later, so I kind of walked on stage with my back first because the teddy bears, they don't hurt.
Yeah.
But if you go with your Strat, with this Strat on stage, and the Duplos hit the strings.
The chocolate or what?
Yeah, of course. They had Hanutas, Duplos, teddy bears, whatever, and they were.
Who's throwing candy bars at a guitar player? You have to eat something.
Exactly. They were so excited that the show started, and they didn't even notice that I was the guitar player and not Lee or one of the girls. But it's funny. Yeah, that's good. But back to the taste thing. It is for me in life. You can the more you know what you really like and what you don't need, that's the next thing. That takes a lot of pressure out of your life if you discover I'm not a gardener, or I am a gardener.
Yeah.
I'm so happy when I water the flowers and cut the trees and whatever gives you a fulfilling feeling, or I enjoy practicing, and whatever it is, the sooner you know that, the better.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then it's like, if you would have discovered what you have discovered 10 years ago, only now, you would have lost 10 years.
Yeah. Imagine, both of us, knowing from our teenage years that we want to do something with guitar, that we want to play guitar. I knew, and you probably too, like, okay, I want to do that.
Yeah.
And I know so many people who didn't knew that they want to do that.
Yeah.
Then they start, going to the university, getting a real job, starting a family.
Yeah.
Oh, no. That
And then when they
sorry for everybody.
Sorry. And then they retire.
Yeah.
And they found out they lived the life they never wanted to live.
Yeah.
Like
a real job with good payment and a family who loves you. Who do we want? I don't want that.
And then they buy a Harley. I would say the Harley Benton, the Harley Davidson, and try to be 20 again.
Yeah.
Before they started the business, the family, and the career, and try to make it from whatever 60, which is fair enough. At least they try to get that time back. We had to pay, or we are paying still for taking that decision, but we have the fun.
Yeah. Hopefully, sometimes. Someday the fun will come.
Well, I can honestly say that I work a lot, and I sometimes do things that I think, why am I doing that shit? But in the complete picture,
in the big picture,
that's the price that I have to pay to live my life the way I do it, and I accept the deal.
Yeah,
that's another thing. You have to accept certain things, and you have to focus on the things that you want to improve, and that is playing technique, tone, or live.
Yeah.
If you find out
doing Texas. Finance stuff.
Yeah. I have a few dreams in my life which I could never achieve, but on the other thing, I achieved a few things that were more important than the downsides that I have to eat.
Yeah.
And so, I'm happy. So that's at least my conclusion. There's a question. Wait a minute. What's up, Thomas and company? Greetings from Hamburg. Wait a minute. Tommy Z. Hamburg, New York. By the way, I'm going to Hamburg next week. So for the guys, okay. Greetings. Tommy Z is a killer blues player. He lives like near to the Niagara Falls. and this guy has all the passion, all the energy, and great guy. For me, what I like about, he plays AMP1. And
of course you like.
Yeah. But what I like about him is he sounds. He's a blues guy, and he sounds like he would play a '64 Fender Super Reverb, you know, like the nerdy blues shit. And he plays that AMP1, and he sounds so good with it.
Nice.
Like I think, isn't there a Super Reverb in the house? No, it's him on that, and that makes me proud that I have blues guys, I have metal guys, I have rock guys, and they play like that thing. That makes me happy, by the way. And now back to the Hamburg thing. In the US, there are many like little towns or villages with German names. Yeah. And by the way, there is Bremen in the US as well. It's like 600 inhabitants, not like 150,000 like in Germany or how many ever they have there. But I have passed Bremen in the US. Okay, and then while we're talking about Hamburg, Lucas and myself will drive to Hamburg next week, and I have a interesting job. I'm going to number one Guitar Center Hamburg, and they have bought, or they have a huge collection of a collector, which is like 360 guitars. 360 guitars. Most music shops don't have these many guitars.
Don't they have also a second shop in Frankfurt nowadays?
No. They have only their shop in Hamburg. The one in Frankfurt you're talking is Guitar Point.
Guitar Point,
that's another vintage dealer. Kudos to them as well. But the guy in Hamburg, I played all the expensive vintage guitars, which I love. I learned from guitars. You know, it's like, okay, some of them are hard to play, others are, some have this kind of noise. So I'm happy to do this job. And going to Hamburg now, I have 300 guitars that I should kind of demonstrate, which is kind of a challenge.
Okay.
To make videos about so many guitars. So my next episode will be live from Hamburg. The title will be Too Many Guitars. And it will be too many guitars.
Okay. Let's see,
So that's Hamburg, Germany next week. What's going on here? I'm in Hamburg, New York, USA, and Sirius. Thanks, when you play, are you using the volume or not much?
When I would have a guitar like this and an amp like this or that, I still love that guitar. It's an Ibanez guitar, but it's not made to use the volume knob with these kind of dynamic ranges. No.
Although Ibanez does, Andy Timmons guitar.
The AZ definitely they have the guitar made for more kind of the traditional Strat purpose. But for me, it's always either off or on.
Okay. Fair enough. Talking about your guitar, it's a very special guitar with how many frets? 27?
24, 25, 26, 27.
Look at mine.
Exactly there.
Well, there's no fret here anymore. But I can go to the ring of my pickup, which is. At least I have my 24 fret as a plastic made from.
I have a guitar. I have one guitar that even goes higher because I thought like, I want to, higher and faster and annoying more people. So I took a 7-string, stripped down the low E string, low B string, and put on a high A string.
Oh wow!
Yeah, I mean this string snaps really quickly. I have like a 0.7, 0.6 kind of string gauge on it. But it's kind of an interesting, fun thing to play sometimes here and there, but I never really used it so much. But I mean, the reason why the 27 frets here are great is just because you can play much really higher register. So that's you can do do some sweeps there and stuff, and that's why I really like the bigger cutaway.
And that's an Ibanez special, because I haven't seen that.
They only have this guitar like in this kind of irritation, and then as a signature guitar from the guitar player called Jake Bone from Periphery.
Ah, yeah.
He has like his guitar was the first one, and then they designed this as a special guitar, but there are only like two with different colors, like this one, the white one, and the black one. Of course, it has the beautiful name, Ibanez RGA 622XHW something.
Of course, Ibanez always goes with big numbers.
Yeah.
It's in that shelf over there.
Yeah. And I know one. We both know one guy in Germany who knows all these numbers.
Yeah.
You could ask him, "What is that guitar?" Blah blah blah. He definitely can tell you like it's this.
Yeah, he's a machine.
But you mean all the numbers and the letters, they have a purpose in those guitars.
Of course. They describe what it is.
Yeah.
You know, the model and the configuration.
If it's a bridge guitar and trim and pickup selection kind of things and everything. This is kind of currently my main guitar, using it on the road. So even these kind of things happen with a €2,000 guitar that you lose.
You start to make.
I have to say, when I have a guitar, I mean, this one is a quite expensive guitar, but when I have a guitar, I want to use it, and I want to use it on stage. And I'm never somebody, and so that you should never give me like a €9,000 guitar, because I would use it live.
Yeah.
I'm nobody who is like having that guitar, in some of safe space at home or whatnot. I want to play my guitar live, and this guitar I play currently. I was on tour with it the last 2 weeks, and I play this guitar all the time.
And I like marks. I mean, the older the guitar gets, the older I get, the more marks we do have, and it's a human thing. So that's totally fine for me. What is the pickup configuration on that guitar?
It is this pickup, something there, and this pickup.
Okay.
Wait, it is shred mode and rhythm guitar mode. And you have this knob, but I'm not 100% sure what it does, because I never use it. I think it splits the coil split, all these kind of things. I don't know.
That's possible. You know what? Give me the guitar, and I will probably find out by my decades of technology knowledge and see what happens. So I have that. Okay. So this is obviously the neck pickup. Okay, that's a humbucker split. So interesting, humbucker in the single coil format and the split mode. I'm wondering. You play 10s?
9. No, it's 9 to
46?
Heavier, 46 for heavier strings.
Like I do. Oh.
Only balls.
Like me.
The not so heavy slinky or something like that. It's the name, right? It's not the super slinky. It is the mix between super and it's the exactly.
Hybrid slinky.
Hybrid slinky.
Are you playing the RPS?
No, I just playing the regular hybrid slinky on this one. Yeah.
Let me tell you. Okay, now I try to sell you strings. Okay, I play the RPS because it's called reinforced plain strings. Because with my fucking hard hitting, the regular ones break easier.
Okay.
And these sound, let's say, close enough for you anyway. They sound close enough for me that you get the same sound and the same feel, but they don't break anymore.
Okay. I have to check them out. Yeah.
RPS, it's the hybrid slinky, and as the other one, because I played exactly those strings that you are playing for my entire life. But but it's like, when they got introduced, I thought I gave them a try, and they last at least 5 times longer with what I do. Okay, interesting. Okay. Okay, this. Of course, that's a standard AB combined. Let me see. Yeah. and it's also humbucker split here. Yeah, sounds cool.
I mean, the player is the main key. Why?
Well, oh, that's high. Okay, good for you. Interesting. So, guys, do we have anything in the comments going on? Hat Thomas sein Boogie noch? Do I still own my Boogie? No, because that's life. You need money when you are on a mission for something, and I had to sell my Mesa Boogie, and I sold it to Frank Post of Looper's Paradise when he was my guitar student when I was 20 or so, and he sold it to somebody, and we lost track. So in case somebody knows my Mesa Boogie, say hello. I don't want it back, but it would be a fun thing to have it back for an episode here.
Yeah.
I'm sure it still exists because nobody puts a Mesa Boogie in the garbage.
Hopefully not. Yeah.
No, it's too heavy.
Yeah.
You can't lift it. So it must be sitting somewhere collecting dust, or it's being played and loved. Who knows? It is a special Boogie because I modified it. There is a crunch mode which doesn't exist with that amp, with a reed relay. I still remember that I have done a few tweaks on top of the standard Mesa. Yeah. Was? Ich mag keine Kapern. Okay, whatever that means. Somebody wants a different taste. Okay, we are talking.
Oh, talking about marks on guitars really quickly.
Yeah.
Do you see this mark over here?
Yep.
Yeah. You know, I don't know if you can see it on the camera work, here and there especially.
Yeah.
I don't have kids, but I have cats.
Cats, yeah.
And they like to chew on my guitar. And I have a couple of guitars where, you know, cat bites here. My cat Ingvi, he's called Ingvi. Of course, he likes to chew on some of my guitars because it's not a Fender guitar that I have here.
Yeah. Wait, is this on this phone or is this? Well, we have a dog in the company, and the dog feels great. Here, see this? Wait. Come on. So. And when he's on a mission, but the dog is pretty smart. He knows exactly where to stop and not creating chaos. But sometimes he's so excited.
Nice.
Yeah, it's nice.
Beautiful.
How many cats do you have?
Two.
Lucas, how many cats do you have? Three.
Nice.
Okay. Yeah.
But is one of your cat named after one of the greatest guitar players ever?
They're all named after Star Wars characters.
Oh wow, that's fucking even better. God damn it.
Sometimes I watch these Instagram posts, and there's like one with the woman and the husband, and the woman, the lady says, you know, you shouldn't talk to your son like that. He's getting too much into the guitar. And he said, you're not talking to Alberto Caster. So the son has already such a name, you know, that way. Yeah, anyway, okay. Was? Weimaraner. Yeah, this is a Weimaraner. 3 cats, 1 dog here. Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, see? The world is alive.
Yeah.
which is cool. Hey guys, if you have a question, now is the time.
Now is the time.
Yeah, and if you know, for what you are doing on your channel, how does it work? I mean, you also offer courses. What is, you know? Let us know.
Let us do the advertisement.
Yes, please. While you're here, because I mean, that's. If you are serious about technique, there is not that many people, I believe, on that level that really decoded things and made it into a theory that you can follow.
Yeah.
I mean, there is a lot of things on the internet where people show off and then you watch it and it's like, fuck, I can't do this, and then you swipe and go for the next one, and you will never get anywhere. So what is your method? What is your...
So I think like the one thing that I'm not the only one who's doing this, but not a lot of guitar players are doing it, is this kind of biomechanical approach.
Yeah.
This kind of really digging, okay, what kind of effect does a certain posture and a certain kind of style have on your playing? By experience with students, so I of course give lessons on either my Patreon or personal, and I have right now 2 online courses out there, the Zen of speed picking and the Zen of sweeping, which are both like big online courses for speed picking and for sweeping, for those 2 techniques. They are big. The Zen of speed picking is my biggest masterclass. There are like a lot of etudes, a lot of licks, a lot of exercise workouts. I love to put more and more stuff into it, and the more I learn, I always upgrade it. So this is kind of my baby as well, like my educational baby. But it can be quite a lot for the beginning when you are, like playing for 2 years and you're just getting into guitar. For that, I created a new online course, which will be released pretty soon, which is called the Gateway to Shred, where I, in easier, smaller chunks and steps, explain like, okay, what is important to do to have a proper technique to play fast, picking fast left-hand stuff, and I show it in like really interesting, fun, and easy way, where with with only 15 minutes a day for several times, like 4 weeks, you can do a lot of improvement. And this will be coming out pretty soon, and it's all, of course, based on shredding, based on fast playing, these kind of things, and based on improving in a fun and in a musical way. That was always kind of my goal as an educator. And with the education cap on, because I've started jazz performance, but in jazz performance you have huge chunk of education. And so education is really important for me. And I have a proper education in education. And I used to be a high school teacher for 4 years back in the day. So I love teaching. It's my passion. And
cool. That's cool. I think it's... No, I was thinking about my grandfather, who was a doctor. And some people in my family were joking, it wasn't enough to have the first one. But anyway, but the cool thing, what I like, also I enjoy teaching a lot too, because just thinking back about my masterclass at the Guitar Summit, there were a bunch of people paying a lot of money for my master. Sometimes I feel like, wow, do I really deserve this? But what I like about teaching is when I can feel that the people can move on to another level where they have been blocked. And that's whatever is giving them that step. If they get to the next level, I'm so happy for them, and being proud myself that I could give something that makes a difference.
And sometimes it is like, even it only has to be like one thing. I mean, we both are people who learned a lot back in the day, who are still learner. I love to learn. And then when I studied music, I constantly was buying books and masterclasses, and it's everything, spending a lot of money in education. And for me, I always had one rule: when there's one thing inside of a book or a masterclass or like a personal lesson, took a lot of personal lessons, and I still love to take lessons, to be honest. When there's one thing that you can improve you as a musician and as, in the way how to express yourself, then everything was worth it. Even though that in the books there are 100 of methods, when there's one thing that helped you to improve, everything was worth it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. So for me, there's a general lesson, is like, I try to do things that feel good to me. And I feel sometimes sad for people who cannot find their way, or even people like Steve Morse, who has a technique that is killer, unbelievable, but then he has a problem with his
right hand,
the right hand here, and then he has to relearn a technique, which is I mean, it's so tough.
It is hard, but it's not impossible.
Yeah.
And
I mean, he's an example for being successful in relearning.
Yeah. When you're doing something for a couple of years, you create habits. And I know that from myself that I had to change habits, especially in the last 5 years. I would say the last 5 years were the years where I really shaped my technique. Okay. Even though that I was at that time already a professional musician for 10 years and I was playing for over 15 years.
Yeah.
And I've studied music and everything, but there are certain things in my mindset changed, that I got more focused, I got more patient with my playing, I created more awareness, and I changed certain things. It was, of course, not an easy way, but it's not an impossible way.
Yeah.
And it really can help to, finally playing that one, of your favorite solos, these kind of things. I mean, that are the reasons why a lot of people are coming to me for the lessons, is because they wanted to play that Dream Theater solo and whatnot. And sometimes you really have to restart at the core, but at a certain point it gets easier and easier and easier, and that is also the good thing to see.
Yeah, it's rewarding to make progress.
Yeah, and progress is for me like my biggest word and my biggest philosophy.
And one thing that I learned is when you get stuck, don't bite too hard. Like go back one step, start slow. Or make it lighter for you, and then while having it lighter, you can start it again, and then it will move easier.
Or sometimes take a break and take a step back from it.
Yeah.
Do something when you feel stuck or rut with a certain technique. It's always fine to say, okay, I've practiced it now for a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
That's important. Sometimes people are really quick, and that was my problem in the past as well, that I was really quickly with, okay, I've practiced that lick for 1 week, I go to the next lick, and then a couple of days I'm doing the next lick. I didn't give time to develop, but when you say, okay, after I've tried this now for 6 weeks and I got it to a point where I got it better, but not to the 100% where I wanted to be, take a break from it, do something else this 6 week
and revisit it.
Revisit it at a certain
later,
point.
And then it feels much better because you don't have the pressure that blocks you.
Absolutely,
the pressure is the biggest problem.
Yeah.
And then it will eventually fall into place.
Yeah.
And you may be discovering a new aspect, a new angle to the whole thing, and that will open it up when you're not blocked or cramped in a way.
Absolutely, yeah.
Cool,
Right,
guys.
some more questions? Will the AMP-X come as...
Play some Petrucci.
What should I play from Petrucci? I can play so... Metropolis, for example.
I can only fake it. Never
Dream
heard.
Theater is. Dream Theater, you could ask me anything. I could play. Dream Theater is the one thing that I really could play like from the spot because I brassed it. I really I love Dream Theater.
That's my problem. I highly respect the guy. I have not a single record. I missed that whole thing.
You should get every record because there is no bad Dream Theater record. I love that band to death.
Okay. And which one should I start with?
With all.
Okay.
Just do it.
Okay, good. I think
do it like I did it last year. I had a big drive with a friend of mine to Denmark.
Yeah.
8 hours one way, 8 hours the next way.
And then
he is a huge Dream
hooked.
Theater fan as well.
Yeah.
We listened to every Dream Theater record on that drive. That was beautiful.
Okay.
Best 2 days from 2024.
Okay, I think that's some kind of inspiration for my next ride. Maybe on the weekend. Let's see if Lucas has some Dream Theater and I'm in the mood to listen to music. Honestly, these days sometimes I enjoy also a lot of silence.
Yeah, I'm also when I will drive back home from today. I will listen to a podcast or something like that.
Yeah,
that's something when you have to do music as a job. We still love it.
Yeah,
but sometimes we really appreciate not having music or silence around you. Yeah. Absolutely.
So
great.
These were our final last words, and I will listen to Images and Words.
That's a good record. Yeah. Images and Words is a really good record.
It comes up here twice, and I heard that record. I didn't have it. Somebody else played it for me, like when it came out 20 years ago. It's an older one, right?
It's the second record from, them, from
yeah,
1999.
So
1991, sorry.
Yeah, I see that. So it's long ago, and this was pretty good, but you know, schnür doch mal ein Aktionsband. We will. Hey guys, this is business here. We will probably do an Aktionsbundle. So this is talking about sales, but currently we are out of stock, sold out on AMP1s. We have, I think, nothing left. So we have cabinets. Buy cabinets. We have beautiful cabinets that keeps us alive. The next shipment is coming in mid-November. Until then, we drink water.
Yeah.
Abwarten und Tee trinken. Okay. Hey, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Justin.
It was a real pleasure to be here again.
Yeah. This was the second visit, and you never know, because there's always topics that
of course
we bump into each other and think, hey, have you thought of that? And I really enjoyed you making that cold plug into this thing and see what a loud amp does with you.
Thank you very much. Yeah. Thanks for watching, everybody.
Okay, see you soon. Maybe next week on this channel. And Justin Hombach, check out his channel. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.